Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator and the Maker of heaven and earth. This particular short presentation is not going to be long. Nonetheless, brothers and sisters, we want to, for edification purposes, get into this regarding the grammar in a singular aspect. What we will deal with in this will not be the pluralization of the pronouns or the verbs. All right. This is a 10 slide PowerPoint presentation brought to you all, brothers and sisters, in love, in the name of Yah, the creator and the maker of heaven and earth. We want to start off, brothers and sisters, in a prayer. The Hebrew word for prayer is the word tefillah. So, for those who can, let us, brothers and sisters, start off in particular manner as so. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Le olam wa'e. Hallelujah. Min ha'aretz. Hallelujah. Lo kol pa'ate ha'aretz. Hallelujah. Kol han shama. Yahovah Eloheinu. We Elohe Abotenu. Elohe Abraham. Elohe Yitzchak. We Elohe Yisrael. Ha'el Hagibor. Ha'el Hanorah. Ha'el Haro'e Hako. Wa'el Ashelo Yera'e. Atahu. We'en Kimoka. Ba Shamayim. O Ba'aretz. Atahu. Wa'en Etzlaka. Ba Shamayim. O Ba'aretz. Yahovah Eloheinu, we Elohe Abotenu, Al Hashabat Taze, Tikwabel na etifilotenu, we Imlo Tikwabel na etifilotenu, Peace Korna, Hat Filot Asher Ata Quibalta, Tifilat Shalomo Ben Dawid, Wagam et Tifilat Daniel, Memate Yehuda, Ya Eloheinu, we Elohe Abotenu, Shublanu, et Tarbutenu, et lishonenu. Wagam ken ko hadbarim. Hatobim asha ata natata lanu. Ya Elohenu we Elohe abotenu. Salak lanu. Me ko pishaenu. Wagam ken ko hadbarim. Haraim asha asinu be eneka bayad arama. Let us start, brothers and sisters, and now read in the scriptures in the book of Tehillim or the book of Psalms. Brothers and sisters, we want to read two Psalms. We're going to read Psalm 113 and we're going to read Psalms 124, brothers and sisters. And it reads as follows. Starting again, we are in the book of Tehillim or Psalms 113. Praise Yah, praise ye servants of Yah, praise the name of Yah. Blessed be the name of Yah from this time forth and forevermore. From the rising of the sun until the going down of the same. The name of Yah is to be praised. Yah is high above all nations, and his glory is above the heavens. Who is like unto Yah our power, who dwelleth on high, who looketh down upon the heavens and upon the earth? He raises up the poor out of the dust, and lifted up the needy out of the dunghill, that he may center with princes, even with the princes of his people. He maketh the barren women to dwell in a house full of children. Hallelujah. We're going to now read, brothers and sisters, in the book of Tehillim or the book of Psalms 124. And it reads as follows. If it had not been Yah who was on our side, let not Israel say, if it had not been Yah who was on our side when men rose up against us, then they had swallowed us up alive when their wrath was kindled against us. Then the waters had overwhelmed us, the stream had gone over our soul. Then the proud waters had gone over our soul. Blessed be Yah, who has not given us as a prey to their teeth. Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken and we are escaped. Our help is in the name of Yah, who made heaven and earth. Brothers and sisters, we want to, in giving due benevolence, giving due honor to the creator and the maker of heaven and earth. On this Shabbat and on every other Shabbat, brothers and sisters. Let that be. We're going to start, brothers and sisters, in this particular presentation. And this is Hebrew class this week. Now, for those who have been following the channel, thank you for subscribing to the channel. We have not been dealing, brothers and sisters, with the aspect of the language and so forth and so on for some time. And that is part of wanting to get more rest. And the other part is, say, like on after Shabbat, or say like on Sunday night, I was working on books. All right. So that's why that is in part in that particular case. Nonetheless, brothers and sisters, we want to get into this and continue in what we're going to be talking about. Okay. Let us start. Hebrew class this week, giving honor to the creator of heaven and earth. This class presentation is based on gender, that is masculine and feminine. We will, in this, focus on grammar and verbs. The verbs will be focused on the masculine and feminine singular matter. We also will deal with the pronouns. All right. So again, brothers and sisters, as pointed out, this is something that we want to do. And I say this in no disrespect. In many cases, Israelites, even sometimes the females, the sisters, sometimes speak to one another in the masculine gender about one another. So we want to understand, as may he rest in peace, Maury Mishael had pointed out, that Hebrew is the language of gender. All right. So in that, there is a matter of grammar for edification purposes. And that is what we want to go over and emphasize, brothers and sisters, in this particular case. Okay. And it goes as so. The pronouns. A pronoun is what takes the place of a noun. A noun is a person. Okay, let's change that up. Sorry about that. That's my mistake real quick. Sorry about that. Person, place, or thing. All right. So now a pronoun is what takes the place of a noun. A noun is a person, place, or thing. In Hebrew, we want to point out that words is, a, and are understood. So brothers and sisters, we want to, brothers and sisters, bold and bold and bold, brothers and sisters, this part right here, because these words don't have a particular way in Hebrew in which it's stated. All right. So is, a, as well as the word and, are understood in Hebrew. Keep calm and learn Hebrew. Now, this happens to be a particular meme that I found online and I wanted to use it. Why did I choose to use this? Many times in Israel, brothers and sisters, people approach Hebrew as if to say, oh, well, it's difficult, or it's easy for you and not for me, or because of a certain age, a person can't grasp it. Such is not the case. The key to learning Hebrew quickly, brothers and sisters, is to learn a vocabulary that you use all the time. That will sit there and help you out very greatly once it comes down to the language itself and the knowledge of it. Your vocabulary will begin to build up. I pointed this out in the book, Hebrew is Easy, Volume 2. All right. So these are things, brothers and sisters, we want to emphasize for edification purposes. All right. So let's go over the pronouns. And as stated, this presentation will deal with, all right, the aspect of it in its singular connotation. Okay. And it says this, the letter hey and the letter tau, the two feminine letters. Now, what we're going to show right here, all right, and we want to color code that, shown there in the yellow, the black lettering though, is the letter hey. And we want to show, brothers and sisters, this here in green. The letter tau here is shown in the green. These are the two feminine letters in Hebrew of the 22 Hebrew letters of the Hebrew alphabet. All right. Hey being the fifth letter, the letter tau being the 22nd letter. All right. So we want to emphasize upon that for grammar purposes. Let's go on, if you will, to the next part. And for those who are joining in on the YouTube, if there's any questions, all right, please feel free to ask concerning this subject of what we're talking about. Okay. let us continue in this particular matter. How the hay and tie work regarding possession. All right, now possession that we're talking about is when one is saying something is mine, something is his, something is hers, something is theirs. But we're not going to deal with the their part, all right, because that's the plural. But we just want to show what we're talking about. All right, here we see, brothers and sisters, right? If we will. We see here, if we will, right? Torah. Okay, now, here we see, brothers and sisters, Torah. Now, what we're going to do and show regarding the matter of the letter Hey, all right, and the letter Tau. Here is the letter Hey. Again, we want to show this, brothers and sisters, all right, in the yellow. And we want to show the letter Tau here again, okay, within the green. So now, the letter Tau shown in the word Torat is the suffix. This Tau that you see here, all right, color coded there in the green serves as a suffix, all right? So now when we're looking at this, brothers and sisters, all right, I want to type in um a shalom to the person who said shalom to me after saying shalom. That is to Ba Israel. Shabbat Shalom Mora Yeshaya or mishpachah. Now, the word mishpachah, for those who are reading, means family. All right. And I discussed the word mishpachah and its root and everything else in Hebrew is Easy, Volume 6. Now, brothers and sisters, looking at this here, all right, the letter tau shown in the word Torat is the suffix. Now, we want to also color code this so that way we begin to follow and see the pattern of what we're talking about. This is the word Torah. We are going to also color code what we're talking about here as well, brothers and sisters, soon as I can. Cool with that. Now, shown in the green are the suffix aspects. The tau, Torah, it becomes Torat. Now, the word Torah, brothers and sisters, means law or instruction. Now, what we want to show too, brothers and sisters, in the Hebrew, if we will, okay, is this particular aspect. And I'm going to pull up something in this particular case, okay? And we want to look at this word here, not wanting to go too far off what we're talking about, but want to, brothers and sisters, still show accordingly what we're speaking upon for edification purposes. Now, this word we just put in here, right, is the word yara. That word yara means in Hebrew, in root, to teach. All right. So now the word Torah, brothers and sisters, in root comes from the word yara, which means to teach. It also can be stated from the word hora, which means to teach or to instruct. So now the word Torah itself, brothers and sisters, is what? A teaching or an instruction. So we just want to show that and point that out for reason and purposes. Okay. The next thing we want to go over and show is we want to remember that in this lesson, we are only dealing with the matter of singular words. All right. So we're not going to go so far into the aspect of the pluralization of such. We want to show here the possession of such. And as stated, we're talking about possession as my, his, hers, and yours. Okay. So that's what we want to deal with in that. If there's any questions concerning this particular matter, please feel free to type it inside of this. I'm going to type in, say, Shalom, family. And what I began to do is show this on my English Facebook page as well. All right. Because we want to get this kind of information out to our people. We just don't want to keep it cramped only to say people who are already going to agree for the most part with what you're saying as an Israelite. All right. So let's go on, if we will, to the next part. Here is what we're seeing. The pronouns. We will focus on the singular pronouns. Now, what are we seeing here, brothers and sisters, is the word ani. We remember that, brothers and sisters, Hebrew is read from right to left. So we see ah, the aleph being mute, that being the patak or the patak kwamat, or the patak kwatan, sorry, which they say is like a shortened ah sound, but basically you still saying ah, okay? So it's ani. This is the noon with the kirik with it and the yod emphasizing its aspect. So here we see, brothers and sisters, ani. The word ani, it is for a male or a female. The meaning is I or I am. So if a female is saying I am, speaking of herself, she will still say ani. If a male is saying I and speaking of himself, he will still say ani. So we just want to point that out. Okay. Here we see, brothers and sisters, the word anoki. It is a different way of saying I or I am. Now, the most common phrase that most Israelites know of when we see Anoki is in Exodus 20, in which it says Anoki Yah Eloheka, in translation, I am the Lord your God. But there are cases in the Bible where humans have actually stated, saying, speaking of himself as the word Anoki as well. So we just want to show that I or I am can be said as either Ani or Anoki. All right. So that's something we want to point out in that particular manner. Now, let's go on to the next part. Ata and Otka. Here we see, brothers and sisters, the word ata, right? This word here is ata. This means you or you are, okay? This is the masculine. This goes before or after a verb. So what are we saying, brothers and sisters? If you're looking at this, right? Okay, somebody asked a question. What is the difference between Torah and Torah? Good question. Thank you for asking that. The definition of Torah is law or instruction. The definition of Torah is instruction of. It's showing a possession of this. So that is the difference between the word Torah and the word Torat. The word Torat meaning instruction or law of. Thank you for asking that question. All right. Now, it says this word here, ata, means you or you are. This is the masculine. This goes before or after a verb. So if we want to deal, say, with a verb, right? Let's look at this here. We're going to type in a verb and just show what we're talking about. Okay, let's look at this here, brothers and sisters. We're going to look up and type in the word ose, which means to do or to make. So we will have the iron, the wow, the scene, and the hay. All right. Bear with 1 second for that so we can show what we're talking about for edification purposes. Now let's look at this right here that we're going to be dealing with, right? When I type this in, I kind of did that kind of like on purpose in that particular way. All right. And we want to enlarge this. All right. Put it in the Times New Roman to keep the thing the same. Thank you for that. Okay, now let's look at that. You have the word here, brothers and sisters, meaning ose. All right. The word ose, brothers and sisters, means doing or making. All right. So we can gain understanding of what we're talking about in that particular way. Ose. So you would say ata ose. Ata ose. Or you could say ose ata. This is my point because it says it goes before or after a verb. This verb here meaning to do or to make. Okay, so you can say ata ose or you could say ose ata and it means the exact same thing. All right. Somebody typed in Shabbat Shalom, Kol Yisrael, Hebrew Israelite sovereign nationalism, rising worldwide. Adonia, Canaan, Yirmiyahu, Yehuda. Let me ask a question to the brother um Adonia, Canaan, Yirmiyahu, Yehuda. Would you say, correct me if I'm wrong, but would you say that the word Yirmiyahu means the Most High, He who establishes? Because to the best of my knowledge, not to get sidetracked from the lesson, Jeremiah in Hebrew said as Yirmiyahu, to my knowledge means whom the Most High established or whom the Most High exalts. So if you have a different understanding of Yirmiyahu, just let me know. All right. I'm trying to see if my understanding on that is correct. Thank you for that. All right. And Shabbat Shalom to you all as well. Now, this word here, ata, means you or you are. This is the masculine. This goes before or after a verb. So if you were to say ose, that would be, you can say that before, as stated, or after a verb. Okay, now, here we have otka. Okay, so what do we, brothers and sisters, want to point out in regarding the aspect of otka? This word here, otka, means you. This is for a masculine. This does not go before a verb or after a verb. This does not mean you are. Without you, bali otka. All right. Sorry. This does not go before, only after a verb. All right. So just want to point that out for edification purposes. This does not mean you are. Now, what do we want to point out in this particular case? All right. Shalom to the brother Laban ben Yeshurun. All right. You have otka. The word otka does not mean you are, as in the case here. Beli otka. This is the word beli, and we're going to show this, all right, highlighted there in the blue. And then we have our word that we've been talking about so far, all right, the word otka. And the word otka, brothers and sisters, sorry about that, shown there in the red, right? Otka does not mean you are. It simply means you. So there's two different aspects of the pronouns that we're talking about. So if I'm talking to a male and I say atatob, meaning you are good, I would not say otkatob. That's what we want to talk about as far as grammar is concerned in that particular case. Okay? As in here, beli otka. Beli means without, otka in this case meaning you. All right? Beli otka. Enenu yekolim la asot shum the bar. Without you, we're not able to do anything. All right. So that's what we want to point out. We wouldn't say correctly Billy Ata. That will be incorrect. So if you're just saying without you, this is the you that you would use in this particular case. All right. So now let's go on, if we will, brothers and sisters, to the next part. At and otak. Okay. This word is at. This word means you or you are. This word goes before or after a verb. Okay. And here we have otak. This word is otak. This word means you, not you are. All right. This word does not go before a verb, but only have such. All right. I wanted to leave that part so the people can see me typing it in as far as it goes down in that particular case, if we will. All right. So here we have this here, at, you are, when speaking, brothers and sisters, all right, feminine, regardless of the age of the female. So if you're saying to a female in a question, ha'at toba, are you good? Hatoba at, either way, that's what you would say. All right. You would not ask by using the word otak, otak toba. No, you would not say that. Grammatically correct. This otak, meaning you, does not mean you are or are you. It doesn't mean that. This simply just means you. As in, brothers and sisters, this here, otka, simply just means you. It's not like ata, meaning you are, and it's not like at, meaning you are. So this is the feminine. This too, otak, is the feminine. So this is something, brothers and sisters, that we wanted to go over and show for edification purposes. All right. Now, let us go on, brothers and sisters, into this next part. Who and oto. Okay. This is the word who. This word means he is or it is. Now that it right here that we're looking at, brothers and sisters, we're gonna bold type that part, would be something, all right, about the aspect of it being a masculine thing. He is. So if we were to go back here and put the word ose, we would say who ose. Okay. But now you can also say who ose, meaning it is doing or he is doing. All right. So that's what we want to point out in this particular case. The word can be before or after a verb. This is a singular word. All right. Oto, as we see here. We're going to highlight the oto, brothers and sisters, and show that in its yellow form. This is the word oto. This word means him. So can we see the difference between who, meaning he is or it is, and the word oto, meaning him? You wouldn't properly say him doing. So therefore, you wouldn't say oto ose. Now, you've been following, there's virtually no reason why one should not know how to say doing or making, because we done said it ose several times already. This is why we take it little by little in this particular aspect. Okay. This word is not used before a verb and shown in conjugation. All right. Somebody, the brother wrote, Lala told Moray, I'm new to the walk, but as to my knowledge, it's Yod He Wahe will exalt or be exalted. Hallelujah. That's what I thought as well. Like whom the Most High exalts, or the most, yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you for the reply, my brother. All right, thank you for that. Um, okay. I'm in Jamaica getting some da'at toda. Let me ask a question. Now, I don't mean to be sidetracked. All right, my brother. If you're saying that you're in Jamaica, if I may ask very candidly, does it or does it not snow in the mountain peaks of Blue Mountain in Jamaica? I know that's totally off what we was talking about in the language, but that's something. I've never been to Jamaica. I heard from brothers and sisters from the islands, or from Jamaica, be they from Montego Bay, Negril, Trelawney, Kingston, so forth. I've heard them say, some said it did snow in what they call Blue Mountain, and then some people say that it didn't. So me coming out of Brooklyn and living in the South for a little while, I never been to Jamaica. So that's why I'm asking somebody. And you stated yes. Okay, so I'm gonna go with that. Told out for the response on that. So according to many, including our brother and friend Adonia Hana Yirmiyahu Yehuda, it does snow there in Blue Mountain, which I know. Sorry for the people who are listening, but I know that has nothing to do with the class or the presentation. I just had that question on my mind in that particular case. Okay, now, okay, now this is the word oto. The word means him. This word is not used before a verb and shown in conjugation. What do we mean by conjugation? Conjugation is when you take a verb and you have it in its past tense, present tense, or future tense. So you will not have that brothers and sisters, before a verb. And we want to emphasize this word before. All right. So you can say who ose, meaning he is doing, but you will not say oto ose. You can say, brothers and sisters, who yaase, he will do, but you will not say oto yaase, meaning him will do, because that is grammatically incorrect in Hebrew. All right. So this is just something we want to go and show for reason and purposes. Now let us look. We have here again who and oto. Who and oto. Now let's go into the next part. He and ota. He. This is the word he. The word means she is. Now let's go back up here, brothers and sisters, right? Because remember, in Hebrew, we want to point out that words is, a, and an are understood. So in light of that, brothers and sisters, when we're saying it means she is, what are we saying? Is that the is already understood. All right. The word can go before or after the verb. This is a singular word. The pronouns that we're emphasizing on tonight are singular ones. All right. And shalom, Hebrew boy. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, here we have Ota, and we want to show this, brothers and sisters, if we will. Let's pick purple. All right. By the way, the Hebrew word for purple is argaman. Okay, so now let's look. This is the word Ota. The word means her. This word is not put before, we want to emphasize before, the verb in showing in conjugation. As we stated, conjugation is when you take the verb and you're showing it in its past tense, present tense, or future tense. You will not say ota, whatever the female word is. You would say he, whatever that feminine next word is with the verb. So that's what we want to talk about for reason and purposes. How to show some common verbs in the singular as either masculine or feminine. All right. What are we going to do in this case? We have the word here, mibashel. This is the masculine word, present tense, singular, meaning cooking. The pronouns with this are as follows. Ani, which we're going to show brothers and sisters, if we will, in the yellow. Then you have ata, and we want to color code it for those who's going to be following later, sorry. So you can gain, well, that's not going to work. So I want to redo that one. Sorry about that. All right. Here, brothers and sisters, we have thank you for that. In light green, so it can be seen. I apologize for that one. All right. Ani, meaning I or I am. Ata, meaning you or you are. Then we have who, which means he or he is. And we want to show this, if we will, brothers and sisters, in the light blue or gray or so. All right. So here we have, what are we looking at? All right. Ani is I or I am. So what are we talking about? You have the word here, mibashel, the mem with the shawa, joined together, moh, serving as a prefix. The verb is the word bashel or bishel in root, which means cook. Okay? So what are we dealing with? We're only dealing in this particular slide, all right, in the present tense. So you would say I or I am. Ani mebashel mazon. It's how a male would say, I am cooking food. All right. Then you have, brothers and sisters, you have you or you are. All right, we're going to keep it as that. At ata, meaning you or you are. Ata mebashel. All right. And that's something, brothers and sisters, we want to emphasize and show for reason and purposes. Then you have here, brothers and sisters, the word who, meaning he or he is. All right. So showing that for those following along. And the red there, who means he or he is. Ata, you or you are. Ani, I or I am. So now this, as we want to emphasize, shown underline, all right, is masculine on the left-hand side here. All right. And it is saying Ani mebashel, Ata mebashel, who mebashel. So the word for food, as many already know, is the word mazon. So a male would say, Ani mebashel mazon, I am cooking food. If he is speaking to a male, he would say, Ata mebashel mazon, you are cooking food. Now, we want to emphasize this. If a male or a female is saying he, speaking in the third person now, he or he is, he or she would say it as who mebashel mazon. All right. So this is what we want to emphasize for reason and purposes. Okay. So this right here is the present tense, as we have stated. All right. Are there any questions concerning what we just discussed in this? What I'm going to do right now, brothers and sisters, again, is what we want to minimize this a little bit, if we will. Okay. And show what we're talking about in this a bit more extended, if we will. All right. That's why I'm glad I'm able to use like the StreamYard thing. And so forth and so on. I want to give an acknowledgement on the human level to the sister Shawale Wee. She's the one who really guided me through how to use the StreamYard matter. All right, so let's go on. Mebashel. So let's look at this one here, right? Mebashelet. This is the feminine word present tense, singular, meaning cooking. So here we have on this side the feminine, and we want to show this, brothers and sisters, in the yellow, mebashelet. Now, how do we show that aspect of the feminine? Is because of, all right, in this particular case, we want to color code things so that way people can follow along later or so. All right. Thank you for that. Now, these three dots referred to as a segol make the eh sound, as in the word pen, met, set, bet, and so forth and so on. So meba shelet, this lamed makes the L sound. All right. The et sound that we see here. All right. And this is tau here, serving, if we will, as a prefix. If we remember way up here, right? The letter hey and the letter tau are feminine letters. So now when we get to this here, this tau serving as a suffix to the word mebashel, you get mebashelet. And this is the feminine word present tense, singular, meaning cooking. So the pronouns with it are ani, meaning I or I am. All right, I or I am. All right. Then